Hey there, gearheads. Welcome to a special deep dive just for Vintage Car Chronicles, your daily dose of classic car goodness. Spotify, Deezer, Apple Music, YouTube, the whole nine yards.
The whole shebang.
That's right. Today we're diving deep into the Ferrari Enzo, a car so legendary it practically roars its own name.
A car that truly redefines the boundaries between road car and Formula One machine.
You got that right. And to help us do that, we've got a stack of articles, specs, even some insider whispers, all about this automotive beast. Get ready to explore its radical design, the mind-blowing F1 technology woven right into its DNA, and performance figures that still make jaws drop, even 2 decades later.
And of course, the legendary V12.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there, don't you worry. But hold on tight, because owning a legend, it doesn't come cheap. We'll be peeking into the eye-watering costs of keeping this beauty purring.
It's safe to say, maintaining an Enzo, it's not your average weekend oil change and tire rotation.
Not even close. And speaking of rare gems, we've got a special treat for you. We'll be diving into the fascinating story of Enzo chassis number 128779, a machine with a history even more impressive than its looks. Get this. It was driven by Michael Schumacher himself.
A car with a pedigree that few can match.
All right, picture this. You're chilling on a sunny beach. Maybe you're, enjoying a cold drink. And suddenly, this sleek, futuristic car screams past. Now, this isn't just any car. This is a machine unlike anything the world has ever seen. And behind the wheel, none other than Demi Moore.
And this wasn't just a random joyride. This was the Ferrari Enzo making its secret debut in Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
Full throttle, a full year before the public even knew it existed.
Talk about a grand entrance. That's how the Enzo announced itself to the world. Bold, unexpected, and leaving everyone wanting more. And when the world finally got a proper look at this beast, it was clear that Ferrari, they had rewritten the rulebook on supercar design.
The Enzo's design was a radical departure, drawing inspiration directly from the world of Formula One. It was a symphony of aerodynamic efficiency. Every curve and line meticulously sculpted to cheat the wind.
So it wasn't just about looking cool. It was about using aerodynamics to glue this beast to the road, right?
Absolutely. The Enzo showcased technology that was truly groundbreaking for a road car back in the early 2000s. It boasted a lightweight carbon fiber body, active aerodynamics that adjusted on the fly, and carbon ceramic brakes that could haul this beast down from insane speeds with just relentless efficiency.
Okay, now let's talk about those active aerodynamics for a second. I'm picturing a rear spoiler rising and fighting like a conductor's baton, orchestrating the forces of the wind. But how does it actually work?
It's actually quite ingenious. The Enzo's spoiler and diffuser, they adjust automatically based on the speed and the driving conditions. At higher speeds, the spoiler extends to increase downforce, basically pressing the car down for more grip and stability. It feels like the car is being sucked onto the pavement, and when you need to brake hard from those high speeds, the diffuser acts as an air brake, further enhancing stability and control.
Wow, so it's like having a supercomputer managing your grip in real time. It makes you wonder how drivers ever tamed these beasts before active aero came along. But hold on, wasn't there something about the Enzo having a bit of Formula One tech under the hood too? I mean, beyond the aerodynamic wizardry.
Absolutely. The Enzo, it was packing a secret weapon, an F1-style automated manual transmission dubbed the F1 gearbox. This beast could swap gears in a blistering 150 milliseconds faster than the blink of an eye.
Okay, 150 milliseconds. I can't even wrap my head around that. So it's basically giving you those lightning-fast gear changes you see in F1 races, but in a road car.
Precisely. It was cutting-edge technology for the time, meant to give the driver that raw, connected feeling of a race car. But as with anything this advanced, there were a few quirks. Some drivers found the shifts a bit rough, especially at lower speeds.
Ah, so not quite as seamless as those perfectly choreographed pit stops we see in Formula One.
Not exactly. While the Enzo's F1 gearbox was incredibly fast, it used a single clutch system, which could lead to a somewhat jerky experience, especially in stop-and-go traffic. Imagine pulling up to a red light in your million-dollar supercar, only to be jolted forward every time you shift.
Ouch, talk about a harsh reality check. So it was a trade-off between raw speed and refined smoothness.
Precisely. It was a system designed for performance, not necessarily for everyday comfort. And in fact, this single clutch system has since been largely superseded by more refined dual clutch transmissions. You'll find those in modern supercars, which offer both lightning-fast shifts and smoother low-speed driving.
Right, because even millionaires don't want to be rattled around town in their supercars.
Yeah.
But okay, let's get down to what really matters, the performance. This car was designed to be an absolute monster on the road. Remind us of those stats again.
Prepare yourself. We're talking 0 to 60 mph per hour in a mind-bending 3.14 seconds, and a top speed recorded as high as 221 mph per hour.
Those are numbers that still make modern supercars nervous. Imagine yourself on an empty stretch of road. You floor it, and in the blink of an eye, you're rocketing towards the horizon at speeds that would make a fighter pilot sweat.
It's the kind of acceleration that pushes you back into your seat, leaves you breathless. And it's not just about straight-line speed. The Enzo was also a formidable force on the track.
Right. Didn't Evo magazine? They took the Enzo for a spin on the Nürburgring, that legendary proving ground for performance cars.
They did. And what's even more impressive is that the car they tested, it had a broken electronic damper.
Wait, a broken damper. Are you telling me they pushed this supercar to its limits with a faulty part?
They did, and they still managed to achieve a very respectable lap time.
That's wild. It speaks volumes about the Enzo's inherent capability, its ability to perform even when things aren't perfect. It's like a testament to its raw engineering brilliance.
Right.
That even with a limp, it could outrun most cars on their best day.
It's a car that defies expectations, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Okay, so we've talked about the Enzo's wild design, its Formula One-inspired tech, and its heart-stopping performance. But let's face it, owning a legend like this isn't just about adrenaline rushes. It's about experiencing a piece of automotive history. But let's be real, it must cost a small fortune to keep a legend like this running smoothly. What are we talking about here?
Let's just say owning an Enzo. It's a hobby reserved for those with deep pockets. Even routine maintenance like an oil change can set you back upwards of $1,600.
Ouch. I guess that's the price you pay for exclusivity and performance. So what about those more serious repairs? We're talking bespoke parts, custom engineering, and a level of craftsmanship that's probably more akin to a Swiss watch than a car.
You are not wrong. If you're looking at major repairs, especially involving those unique handcrafted parts, prepare for bills that can easily reach 5 figures, maybe even 6 figures.
Wow. It's like owning a piece of art that needs constant pampering from a team of specialists. But hey, for the right person, that's just part of the charm, right? The thrill of owning a legend, even if it means taking out a second mortgage on your house. Speaking of legends, let's talk about that special Enzo chassis, the one with the Michael Schumacher connection. Chassis number 128779. What's the story there?
This Enzo, the second one to roll off the production line, has a history as impressive as its specs. Its journey began in August 2002 at the Nürburgring, where it was unveiled to the world.
The same Nürburgring where they set that impressive lap time even with a broken damper.
That's the one. And who better to take this beast for its first spin than Ferrari's F1 champion Michael Schumacher? Imagine the roar of that V12 as he pushed this car to its limits on that legendary track.
Talk about a test drive. It's like a scene straight out of a movie. So what happened to this Enzo after Schumacher got his hands on it?
It was sold to an Italian collector in 2003. And then, after spending some time in the sunny climes of Italy, it made its way to the UK in 2014. It's been part of a world-class Ferrari collection ever since, meticulously maintained and cherished for its historical significance.
It's like a globe-trotting supercar, leaving its mark on 3 different countries. But what makes this particular Enzo even more special is its status as the last of a dying breed.
You're right. The Enzo marked the end of an era for Ferrari. It was the last naturally aspirated, non-hybrid V12 hypercar they ever produced.
Wait, so every flagship Ferrari since the Enzo has embraced hybrid technology?
That's right. The Enzo stands as a testament to a time when raw, unadulterated V12 power, it ruled the supercar world, making it even more desirable among collectors who crave that pure mechanical symphony.
Wow, just imagine the sound of that engine, unfiltered, untamed mechanical symphony echoing through the hills. Gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. It sounds like we've barely scratched the surface of the Enzo story. What else is there to uncover?
Oh, there's so much more to discover. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I think it's time we take a closer look at the heart of this beast, its engine. That V12 is more than just a power plant. It's a work of art, a mechanical masterpiece that deserves its own deep dive.
Okay, you've piqued my curiosity. I'm ready to hear more about this legendary engine.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the heart and soul of the Ferrari Enzo.
We've already been blown away by its Formula One-inspired tech and its mind-bending performance stats. But now it's time to explore the masterpiece that lies beneath that sleek carbon fiber skin, the engine that gives the Enzo its soul.
The Enzo's heart is a 6.0-liter naturally aspirated V12, a symphony of 12 cylinders that roar to life with a sound that can send shivers down your spine.
Okay, I'm already getting goosebumps. But before we get lost in the symphony, let's rewind a bit. We've talked about how radical the Enzo's design was, its connection to Formula One. But what were some of those specific design elements that made this car so revolutionary?
The Enzo's design was a masterclass in aerodynamic efficiency. Take that low wedge-shaped profile. It wasn't just about looking sleek and aggressive, it was about minimizing drag and keeping the car glued to the road. At insane speeds. Imagine a cheetah, all muscle and grace, designed to slice through the air with minimal resistance. That's the Enzo.
And then there are those iconic butterfly doors. I mean, they look like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. But there's got to be more to them than just making a dramatic entrance,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Those doors are a perfect example of form meeting function. They're engineered to create a vortex of air as they open, which helps to improve airflow around the car and increase downforce. It's like they're channeling the wind, guiding it to create more grip and stability.
So it's not just about looking cool. It's about harnessing the forces of nature to enhance performance. That's amazing. But let's talk about the Enzo's bones. Its structure, we know it has a carbon fiber body. But what about the chassis and other components? Did Ferrari go all out on lightweight materials here too?
Absolutely. Ferrari spared no expense in creating a supercar that was as light as it was powerful. The Enzo's chassis is also crafted from carbon fiber, an incredibly strong and lightweight material. This allowed them to keep the car's overall weight down, which in turn led to better acceleration handling and braking. It's like a featherweight boxer packing a heavyweight punch.
It's mind-blowing how they managed to blend such extreme performance with a certain level of everyday usability. I mean, is this a car you could theoretically take to the grocery store?
Theoretically, yes, though I doubt many Enzo owners would risk door dings and parking lot mishaps with their prized possession. But you're right, Ferrari's engineers went to great lengths to make the Enzo somewhat livable on regular roads. They didn't want it to be a temperamental track monster that you could only unleash on special occasions.
So it's a car that could dominate a racetrack and handle a trip to the supermarket. It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Talk about range. But okay, let's go deeper into that engine. This V12 is the heart and soul of the Enzo. It's what separates it from the pack. What can you tell us about its specs and its character?
The Enzo's engine is a symphony of internal combustion. It generates a staggering 660 horsepower and 485 pound-feet of torque. That power is channeled through that light and fast F1 gearbox we talked about earlier, propelling the car to mind-bending speeds.
Yeah, okay, those numbers are impressive. But I'm more interested in the feeling, the experience of this engine. What's it like to hear that V12 roar? What kind of emotions does it evoke?
Imagine this. You fire up the engine, and this deep guttural growl erupts from behind you. It's a sound that sends shivers down your spine, a sound that announces the presence of a true beast. And as you rev the engine, the sound intensifies, transforming into a high-pitched wail that's both exhilarating and intimidating.
It's like a primal scream, a force of nature unleashed. But beyond the sound, what about the power delivery? Is it smooth and linear? Or is it more of a wild, untamed beast?
The Enzo's engine is all about responsiveness. There's no turbo lag, no waiting for the power to build. It's instantaneous, like a bolt of lightning. You touch the gas pedal and the car surges forward with an urgency that's both exhilarating and slightly terrifying.
It's a car that demands your respect. But for those who can tame it, the rewards must be incredible.
Oh, absolutely. The Enzo's engine is a masterpiece of engineering, a symphony of power, precision, and raw emotion.
It sounds like a truly unforgettable experience. But okay, I'm going to go behind the scenes for a moment. Who were the masterminds, the unsung heroes, who brought this incredible machine to life?
The Enzo was a collaborative effort, a symphony of talent from Ferrari's finest engineers and designers.
But were there any individuals who stood out, who played a particularly crucial role in shaping the Enzo's destiny?
One name that comes to mind is Paolo Martinelli. He was the head of Ferrari's engine department at the time, and he was instrumental in developing the Enzo's legendary V12.
So he was the conductor of this mechanical orchestra.
You could say that. He and his team poured their hearts and souls into creating an engine that was not only powerful, but also incredibly refined and responsive.
It's amazing to think about the level of dedication and craftsmanship that went into this car. But okay, let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the Enzo's impact on car culture as a whole. How did this car influence the way we think about supercars and hypercars?
The Enzo wasn't just a car, it was a statement. It represented the pinnacle of automotive achievement, a symbol of speed, luxury, and exclusivity. It became the car that every car enthusiast dreamed of owning, the poster child for a generation obsessed with performance and exotic machinery.
It's like it single-handedly raised the bar for what a supercar could be.
It did, and its influence can still be felt today. In the design and engineering of modern hypercars, the Enzo showed the world what was possible when you combine cutting-edge technology with uncompromising performance and a passion for automotive excellence.
It's a legacy that continues to inspire,
Mm.
and push the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely. The Enzo's impact on the automotive world is undeniable. It set a new standard for performance and design, and its legacy continues to inspire awe and admiration to this day.
But okay, let's bring things down to earth for a moment and talk about the reality of living with an Enzo. It's a car that commands attention wherever it goes. What's it like to navigate the world in a machine that's so rare, so powerful, so visually striking?
Owning an Enzo, it's an experience unlike any other. It's a car that turns heads, that sparks conversations, that makes people stop and stare. It's a rolling testament to automotive artistry and engineering prowess.
But it's also a car that comes with a certain level of responsibility. You can't just park it anywhere or take it for a casual spin without attracting a crowd. It must be a bit like being a celebrity, always in the spotlight.
There's definitely a level of awareness that comes with owning an Enzo. You're constantly aware of the car's value, its rarity, and its power. But for those who are truly passionate about cars, these challenges are more than worth it.
It's about the privilege of owning a piece of automotive history, a car that represents the pinnacle of Ferrari's achievement.
Precisely. And for many Enzo owners, the car is more than just a possession. It's a passion, a dream come true, a source of endless fascination and joy.
But let's talk about the elephant in the room, the cost of ownership. We've already touched on the high maintenance costs. But what about other expenses, like insurance, storage, and security?
Let's just say owning an Enzo is not a hobby for the budget-minded. Insuring a car of this value and performance can be eye-watering.
Yeah, I bet those insurance premiums would make even a Wall Street banker sweat. So you're telling me that beyond the routine maintenance and the occasional six-figure repair bill, you've also got to shell out a small fortune just to keep this car insured?
You got it. And then there's the issue of storage. You can't just park an Enzo in your driveway or a standard garage. You need a secure, climate-controlled facility, maybe even with 247 security to protect your investment.
So it's like owning a priceless work of art that requires its own private gallery. I guess that's the price of exclusivity, right? But okay, let's talk about the heart of the matter, the driving experience. Forget the costs, forget the logistics. What's it like to actually get behind the wheel of an Enzo and unleash its full potential?
Driving an Enzo is an experience that defies description. It's a car that connects with you on a visceral level, that awakens your senses, that makes you feel truly alive.
Okay, I need you to paint me a picture here. I'm sitting behind the wheel. The engine roars to life. What happens next?
The sound of that V12 washes over you, a symphony of mechanical fury that sends shivers down your spine. You grip the steering wheel, feeling the car come alive beneath you, and as you press the gas pedal, the Enzo surges forward with an urgency that's both exhilarating and slightly terrifying.
So it's not just fast. It's an experience that overwhelms the senses.
Precisely. The Enzo's acceleration is relentless, pinning you back in your seat as the scenery blurs past. The steering is incredibly precise, responding to your every input with immediacy and accuracy. And the brakes, those carbon ceramic wonders, are equally impressive, hauling the car down from speed with relentless force.
It sounds like a car that demands your full attention, your complete focus.
It does. It's not a car you can drive casually. It requires your complete engagement, your full respect. But for those who are up to the challenge, driving an Enzo, it's an experience that will stay with you forever.
Okay, I'm starting to understand what makes this car so special. It's not just about the numbers, the stats, the technology. It's about the emotional connection, the visceral experience, the feeling of being one with a machine that's pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
You got it. The Enzo is a car that speaks to your soul, that ignites a passion within you that's hard to describe. Welcome back to our epic journey through the world of the Ferrari Enzo. We've talked about its design, its technology, its performance, and even the emotional roller coaster of owning this automotive masterpiece.
And now it's time to uncover some hidden gems, those lesser-known facts and stories that make the Enzo even more fascinating.
Okay, I'm all ears. What secrets have you unearthed? Well, for starters, did you know that the Enzo wasn't always destined to bear that iconic name?
Really? So what were they going to call this beast before they decided on Enzo?
During its development, the Enzo went by a much simpler, less dramatic codename FX.
FX. That's quite a departure from the final name. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue the same way, does it? Any idea why they changed it?
It's said that Luca di Montezemolo, Ferrari's president at the time, he felt that the car deserved a name that would truly honor the company's founder, Enzo Ferrari.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, this car was a culmination of everything Ferrari stood for: performance, innovation, and a relentless pursuit of pushing boundaries. It was only fitting that it bear the name of the man who started it all.
Exactly. And speaking of names, did you know that the Enzo's engine, The F-140B V12 was the first in a new generation of engines for Ferrari.
Really? So it wasn't just a one-off masterpiece. This engine had a legacy that extended beyond the Enzo.
Absolutely. This engine family went on to power other legendary Ferraris like the 599 GTB Fiorano, the F12 Berlinetta, and even the LaFerrari.
Wow. So the Enzo's influence wasn't limited to its own production run. It actually helped shape the future of Ferrari's engine technology.
It did. And this speaks to the significance of the Enzo as a technological testbed for Ferrari. They used this car to push the boundaries of what was possible, and the lessons they learned were then applied to their subsequent models, creating a ripple effect of innovation.
That's incredible. It shows how a car like the Enzo can have an impact that extends far beyond its own lifespan. Okay, well, what other lesser-known facts do you have up your sleeve?
Well, here's one that might surprise you. The Enzo wasn't actually designed to be a convertible.
Wait, what? But I've seen pictures of Enzo convertibles. How is that possible?
You have, but those were actually aftermarket conversions, done by independent companies. Ferrari never officially produced an Enzo convertible.
That's amazing. I mean, the Enzo is such a visually striking car. It seems like a convertible version would have been a natural evolution.
It does make you wonder. But Ferrari engineers were adamant that removing the roof, it would compromise the car's structural integrity and aerodynamic performance.
I see. They weren't willing to sacrifice performance for the sake of open-air driving.
Precisely. They were laser focused on creating a car that was truly optimized for speed and handling, and they weren't going to let anything compromise that vision.
It's a testament to their commitment to engineering excellence. Okay, you mentioned earlier that the Enzo's engine was used in other Ferraris. What about other components or technologies? Did any of the Enzo's innovations make their way into other models?
Absolutely. The Enzo was a proving ground for a wide range of technologies that were later adopted by other Ferraris.
Like what? Give me some examples.
Well, for instance, the Enzo was one of the first Ferraris to feature carbon ceramic brakes, which are now standard equipment on most of their high-performance models.
Those brakes are incredible. They offer phenomenal stopping power and fade resistance,
Yeah,
even under the most extreme driving conditions.
they do, and they were a major innovation when the Enzo was launched.
What about other technologies? What else did the Enzo pioneer that's now trickled down to other Ferraris?
Well, the Enzo also pioneered the use of active aerodynamics. With its adjustable rear spoiler and diffuser, that automatically adjusts to optimize downforce and drag, depending on the driving conditions.
That's right, we talked about that earlier. It was a truly groundbreaking technology at the time.
It was, and this technology has since been refined and incorporated into other Ferraris, including the LaFerrari and the 488 Pista. It's amazing to see how these innovations, which were once considered cutting edge, have become commonplace in the world of high-performance cars.
It's a reminder of how quickly technology evolves, especially in the automotive world. But okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about something else that's often associated with the Enzo, its price. This car is notorious for its astronomical price tag, both when it was new and even more so in today's collector car market.
You're right, the Enzo is one of the most expensive cars in the world. A true blue-chip investment for automotive enthusiasts with deep pockets and a passion for Ferrari's legacy.
Okay, let's talk numbers. What was the Enzo's original price when it was launched in 2002?
The base price was around $659,000, which even back then was a staggering sum.
That's a lot of money. But I imagine that was just the starting point. Those who could afford an Enzo probably weren't shy about adding a few options.
You're absolutely right. Options and customization could easily push the price well over $700,000.
So we're talking serious money even back in the early 2000s. And what about today? What are Enzos selling for on the collector car market?
Hold on to your hats. A well-maintained Enzo with low mileage and a documented history can easily fetch between $2 million and $3 million these days.
Wow, that's a mind-blowing appreciation in value. What's driving this demand? Is it simply a case of supply and demand, or is there something more at play?
There are several factors at play here. First, the Enzo is a limited production car, with only 400 examples ever built. This scarcity alone makes it highly desirable among collectors.
Right, it's like owning a piece of automotive history, a tangible connection to Ferrari's legacy.
Exactly, and it's not just about the limited production numbers. The Enzo is also an incredibly desirable car, thanks to its stunning design, its groundbreaking technology, and its legendary performance. It ticks all the boxes for collectors who crave exclusivity, performance, and historical significance.
And of course, it's a Ferrari. which always adds a certain level of prestige and mystique.
Absolutely. The Ferrari name carries a lot of weight in the collector car market, and the Enzo is one of their most iconic and sought-after models.
So for those fortunate enough to own one, the Enzo is not just a car, it's also a valuable investment.
It is. And it's a reminder that certain cars transcend their status as mere vehicles and become true works of art, appreciating in value over time.
You know, it's easy to get caught up in the Enzo's technical brilliance, its mind-blowing performance, and its astronomical market value. But I think it's important to remember that this car is, at its core, a product of human passion and creativity.
You're absolutely right. The Enzo is a testament to the human spirit's ability to dream big, to push boundaries, and to create something truly extraordinary.
It's a reminder that cars can be more than just machines. They can be expressions of art engineering and passion. They can be symbols of human achievement and aspiration.
Exactly. And the Enzo embodies all of these qualities in a way that few other cars can match. It's a car that inspires awe, admiration, and a sense of wonder.
Well, that about wraps up our deep dive into the Ferrari Enzo. From its radical design and F1 technology to its heart-stopping performance and enduring legacy, this car is a true icon of the automotive world.
A masterpiece of engineering and design, a testament to Ferrari's relentless pursuit of excellence.
It's been an absolute pleasure exploring the Enzo's story with you, and we hope you've enjoyed the ride as much as we have.
And remember to tune into Vintage Car Chronicles daily for more fascinating stories from the world of classic cars.
Until next time, keep the passion for cars alive.